You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacqueline.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Good afternoon and welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline presents A Better You. Lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. We are live streaming today on Business Talk Radio as always and social media. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. I'm a certified life, career, yoga, and meditation coach. And our show is all about my guest. My guest is an expert in so many fields. And in addition, she's become a very good friend. She's helped me through so many things in terms of putting my business together and helping point out areas that I could do things more effectively, streamline things. So please help me in welcoming Trish to the program. Hi, Trish.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And Dr. Jacqueline, appreciate you. Appreciate that gracious introduction.
Well, it's all true. You have helped me in so many ways. And your topic today is very exciting and near and dear to me also, because we are going to work with virtual assistants and you're going to talk to us about how to actually build a team and doing this with apprentices, which is really kind of cool.
And it is especially cool that people would consider this, especially during now in COVID. You know, there's a lot of people at home that are not getting out to traditional schools, that are educating themselves online. There's a lot of people out there who need work experience, but because of COVID, things have, there's been huge disruption, so doing things differently that's actually how I've always rolled. But I've always been always looking to build people up. And so I truly love working with apprentices because I really enjoy being a mentor. And it's been going on 20 years now that I've been mentoring. And I guess if you count my volunteer, well, there's another 15 years on top of that. Yeah. So, mentoring volunteers. Yeah. That's where I started, actually. Anyway, so today, we're going to talk about building a virtual team and with apprentices and Practicum students. And we'll figure out what that means later.
Wonderful. And Trish, before we begin, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just spotlight you and just give us a background on who you are and what it is that you do. So for people listening and watching, let's hear from Trish. She's quite experienced, very talented, and we can all learn from her. So Trish, here you go.
Thanks so much, Dr. Jacqueline. I am Trishs Robichaud, and I am a work-life inclusion coach. I'm also an accessibility compliance expert, and I'm all about advocating for people with disabilities and all about mentoring people with disabilities in their businesses. I found over the years that when you have a disability, it's very, very common to have been pushed out of the workforce or just not able to join the workforce because of some physical barrier. And people with disabilities, that we are far more likely to be self-employed than the average Joe. And so I'm here to talk to you today about how to leverage people who are working at home, living and working at home, and loving their work. Okay. And there are loads of people out there, not just people with disabilities, lots of people who are out there. And let's get to it. Let's get to it, Dr. Jacqueline.
All right. I know I told you that we were going to go straight to your presentation, but I'm thinking now that I'd like to play your clip for everyone to take a look at. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. And before I do, I want to say hello to, I think it's Sushant Kumar, and Shiga Mizzou Bright. My apologies if I didn't get your name right, but thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. Okay, let's take a look at Trish's clip, and then we'll come back and talk about it briefly and then have you do your presentation. Okay, here we go.
The world is changing, and your company needs to change with it. Whether it's procurement, employment, marketing, or customer service, it's now more important than ever for your business processes to be inclusive to people with disabilities. Hi, I'm Trish Robichaud with Changing Paces, and I'm here to tell you that making your business processes accessible to people with disabilities is simply good for business. Accessibility and inclusion are the law. But here's what you may not realize. Disability inclusion is an opportunity, not an obstacle. In fact, a recent 4-year study found that companies that fully embrace disability inclusion had a 30% higher profit margin than those that didn't. Your investment in staff disability inclusiveness training can pay off in areas like innovation, brand recognition, as well as customer and employee satisfaction and loyalty, not to mention productivity and profitability. At Changing Paces, we can help you make that happen for your business. Our experts have real-life experience that will help your team gain insight and best practices they won't get anywhere else. And we can help you create a customized training program to bring your organization into compliance with local and industry regulations. This topic is very close to my heart for me, very personal. Dealing with the challenges of MS for the past 25 plus years and having lost my job as a result of my diagnosis back then, I've made it my mission to bring disability out of the darkness and create a more welcoming environment for people of all abilities. As a pioneer in the field of inclusiveness, our company developed and implemented one of the first accessible customer service training programs in Canada. We provide complete online training solutions that blend with your branding, your policies, and your systems. Between our disability subject matter experts and our technical partners, we can provide you with both the content and the platform that you need to create an evergreen training program that empowers your people while it transforms your organization and your company culture. In short, we make disability inclusion easy in all parts of your business. Contact us now for a quote or consultation at info@changingpaces.com. Your bottom line will thank you.
I just love that clip. There's so much information there, and the way you deliver it, it's so professional, and your pacing is just easy to follow you. And you're talking about a subject that's is somewhat complex because there's a lot that goes into it. So I just want to applaud you for your work on that. It's excellent.
And that I'll pass on kudos to my friend Jason Reed, REID, reid.ca or .com, I'm not sure. Try both if you're interested. He produced the commercial, and he helped me write their script even. So, yeah.
Excellent. Great job.
Yeah, good people.
All right. So we're going to start the show with we're going to continue the show, but we're going to start your lesson. And just for people joining us, I want to say hello to Mohammed Shurfi. What's going to happen is Trish will have 15 minutes to present her lesson. And your lesson again is, Trish?
How to build a virtual team with apprentices.
Okay. So I'm going to spotlight you. And then if you would wait for me to get the timer.
Okay.
I'll tell you when. All right, here you go. It's all yours.
Thank you. Wow. Thanks for joining me here today, folks. I appreciate your attention. I'm excited to talk to you today about building a virtual team with apprentices. I just want to speak very briefly as to why I'm interested in building a team for apprentices. Well, I'm an entrepreneur, and in fact, I'm an entrepreneur with multiple disabilities, and my particular target market is helping to empower entrepreneurs with disabilities to establish a steady stream of income that will keep them afloat while their health is rocking the boat. So this is just a piece of what I deliver to my clients. And I hope you'll enjoy this lesson today. Hope it's helpful for you. So the first piece is going to be around it's telling you that there are actually two different types of opportunities, and you know what? There's probably more to tap into, either apprentices or practicum students. Okay, one or the other, either one, doesn't matter. Practicum students, there's usually no fees or no costs involved, but the process to get approved as a sponsor for a practicum student is a little more complex than usually. It is a lot more complex than if you're hiring an apprentice through a site like, for example, ripen.com, RIIPEN.com, or Acadium, ACADIUM.com. Both of those sites, for a fee, you can have access to a plethora of students who are digital marketing students in the case of Acadium. And that is the platform that I use. Practicum students, all right, so those are apprentices. Apprentices, we have apprentices and we have practicum students. And those apprentices, there's usually a fee involved, but I guarantee you that by the time you crunch the numbers, that you're getting that apprentice for like under $5 an hour, easily under $5 an hour. And actually probably less than that. And then in the case of practicum students, you don't have to pay anything, okay? But it is a lot more involved, and that would require you recruiting a practicum student by approaching community colleges and universities, okay? There are loads of community colleges that have programs out there that actually require students to be practicing in their field in order to graduate. Okay, so if, for example, in this case, if you're looking for digital marketing help, you would go to a community college that offers a program in digital marketing that requires a practicum piece. Okay, that would be it. So it would be some research there. Okay. And when I get to the end, and if you stay to the end for my little presentation here today, you're going to get a link to a $100 discount for Acadium. Okay. Okay. So now we're talking about the two different opportunities. Now the sameness, everything's the same from there on in. Once you're beyond your sources, who your sources are going to be, it's very similar. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say is that the first thing you need to do is build your profile. Okay, so I'm going to use Acadium as an example today because that is the service that I use and that I'm most familiar with. Okay, but they all kind of operate about the same. All right, and I'm going to lose the glasses because they keep sliding off my face. And yeah, okay, so building the profile. What do you want on the profile is going to be your mission. What is your mission? What is your company's mission? Who do you work with? How do you help them? And why are you the person to help them? Okay, so you got to remember that there's going to be a potential mentee or potential apprentice looking at your profile, and they want to know what drives you, what's your mission, and who do you work for? What do you do for those clients, and how do you help them? And why are you the person to help those people? Okay, and you want them to think about that. All right, the next piece beyond the profile is building an ad or an apprenticeship posting. Okay, it's just like building an ad for anything else. Okay, you list the details of the project or the apprentice assignment. Okay, usually apprenticeships at Acadium are 3 months. Okay, so you tend to think in terms of 3-month projects for somebody. Okay, and I custom create every project for every apprentice. okay? But to begin with, I have to have some bit of information about what my ballpark is that I want them to play in, okay? So list some details about the actual apprenticeship. Then you need to list some skills that are required. And I would even use the words comfortable with. So you want your potential apprentices to be comfortable with their skills, okay? They don't need to be experts. We're not looking for, super duper, super fast or super anything. We're just looking for general help. And so the other piece is, okay, first we talk about details of the project, then we talk about the skills required for the project, and then we talk about apps or platforms that might be required in the facilitation of a project. So in this situation, I'm going to give you an example. All right. And then finally, the last question is, what are you bringing to the table? Because as the mentor, you have a responsibility to bring something to the table. So let me give you an example of an ad. So let's say I'm posting an ad on Acadium that I am looking for someone to manage my social media, which is basically non-existent, okay? So I detail in the job that I'm looking for somebody to help me launch my social media presence online, okay? And I let them know that I've been dabbling on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and I let them know that I know how to use Hootsuite, and if they did too, that would be great. And then I would also want them to know if they can do photo editing and video editing so that they can help me create content to put out on the social media. Okay, so I would mention that in my ad. All right, and then finally, so the apps and the platforms, I would want to know that they would know how to use maybe Canva, okay, because that's really helpful for building images. And maybe they might know how to use Camtasia for video editing or any other video. It doesn't matter, as long as they had, if I was looking for some support with video editing, it wouldn't really matter the application in that regard, because there are quite a few out there. And then the final question is, what are you bringing to the table? So that's the last part of your ad. Should always be, what are you bringing to that mentee or to that student who's just graduating with some, let's say, a diploma in digital marketing, and they want to, because this apprenticeship is going to go on their resume. All right. So it's a powerful thing. We have to be sure that they're getting the value that they're bringing to us. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Okay, so next step. All right, after we've posted, so the first thing, I just do a little quick review here. First, we posted our profile. We built our profile. Then we posted our ad. Okay, and third, we are going to recruit. Okay. So once I've posted the ad, if I just sit back and wait for 1 million people to land in my inbox if they're interested in my job, it's not going to happen. Okay. I might see 1 or 2 or 3 over the next week. But it just doesn't work like that. What you have to do is you have to go online. First thing you do for example, on Acadium, the first thing you do is you decide how far outside of your time zone you're willing to go with hiring an apprentice. Okay. For me, I generally stick to North America, maybe Great Britain, maybe Australia, out that way, and maybe some, anyways, because the time zones, some of them are brutal differences. The next piece is you use the filters that Acadium provides you to find people with specific skills or experience. All right. Then once you've determined, how far you're willing to go in your time zone wise, and then you've filtered, let's say you want somebody who also speaks Filipino, or you want somebody who, oh goodness, there's all kinds of filters in there. Most of the filters are around what skills they have, like what applications they've used and whatnot. And then once you've got those filters, you're going to end up with a list of like hundreds probably of candidates. All right. So there's way too many for you. Just focus on one at a time. All right. Your job is to go through as many as you can and invite 20 to 30 people who have the skills that you like. Invite them to an interview. All right. No need to panic. You're not going to get 20 to 30 people accepting your interview. 90% of them won't even respond to your request. Okay. You will, out of 20 to 30 people that you recruit from, you'll get 2, 3, 4 interviews. Okay. 3 or 4 interviews. Okay. And then you do those interviews and you end up with 1 or 2 candidates. Okay. It's just like hiring, just like any hiring process. Okay. The interview itself, I want to say, don't agree to do an interview without a resume. Okay. Some have resumes on their Acadium profile that you can download and look at, and others don't have a resume. But I highly recommend that you don't agree to interview anybody who doesn't have a resume. And the interview, to me, because I have their profile on Acadium and I have their resume, I feel like I have a general idea around where their skill sets are. I can tell from any employment history, whether they've been using those skills or not. But you know what? To me, the skills, the experience is not as anywhere near as important as the chemistry and the level of interest from the candidate. Okay, that is vital. The level of interest from the candidate. So if I've got 2 candidates that are running neck and neck, then I provide a test, an assignment for each of them to do, and give me their results on. And that's when I decide how I decide who I'm going to take on. And it's a formula. I've been doing it. I've been handling people like this for many years now. And oh yes, and that discount is at Acadium 100 off. So 100, the numbers 100, Acadium100off.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. You take care and God bless. Stay safe.
Great job, Trish. Excellent. I want to just update this banner quickly. Tell me again the discount.
It's Acadium.
Okay.
The number 100. Off. OFF.
All together?
.com. All together. Yep. All together. Acadium 100 off.
Okay. Is it ACADIUM?
You got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. That's great. I'm going to add that. Here we go. Let's see if it looks right. Acadium100off.com.
Yep. That's it.
All right. So you get $100 off.
Yes.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, they're very generous actually of their affiliate program. They're very generous. Yeah. So it's there's a lot of affiliate programs out there for all kinds of things, but when you can offer a potential client or customer $100 discount, You are motivated to use my link, aren't you?
Well, I used your link. So,
I know.
so I signed up, and I thought
Yeah.
one of the things that really stood out for me, because I was actually falling into this trap. I just assumed people are going to be flocking to me,
Mm-hmm.
that I put up
Mm-hmm.
the posting and people are going to be coming to me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not the case. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. 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 That's why I need to get into your Acadium account so that I can generate the interest from those. I need to tap on 20 to 30 people's doors and
Yeah.
say,
And
come on, let's see.
I thought the other thing you said that was really interesting is that in a lot of these cases, whether you go directly to a university or you go to something like Acadium, is that the apprentices / interns, they are going to put this on their resume. So it's really important to them that they are aligned with a mentor who's going to teach them something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Because at the end of any apprenticeship, I've had an apprentice. I want to be in a position to be able to give them a letter of recommendation. That's the whole point of mentoring someone, right? And if I feel that I'm not in a position to give them a letter of recommendation, that's on me. Okay. It's not on them. It's on me. Okay. Because I didn't do my job. Because a mentor is someone who helps you grow. That's literally for me what it is. And so how I utilize this really valuable service is I will have multiple apprentices going at the same time, and then I will introduce them. We will have weekly meetings. Then they feel like they're on a team. They're working from their bedroom, with a laptop, and we're across the globe or whatever, and they feel like they're alone. But you know what? Not when they're on my team, okay? Because they know that we're in this together, right? And so I have team members who used to be apprentices that when they were finished their apprenticeship, they wanted to stay on.
Oh, wow.
Because they enjoyed my mentoring so much. They wanted to find a way to continue working with me. So I do have a policy with past mentees. If they want to stay on, I will do a barter arrangement with them. So I will continue to provide them coaching and training on digital marketing, for example, while they're doing digital marketing for me. So it's like a win-win. Like they get the education, they get the experience, I get the fellowship in my business, right? Well, you know what it's like working solopreneur. It's tough. We got to have people in our lives, and I get the benefit of them building my business at the same time.
It's
So yeah,
definitely a win-win.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fantastic lesson that you presented. And again, I'm going to find the link. But if you use Trish's link, you will get $100 off, which is a huge deal. I actually did it myself. And I can't find the link. Here it is. Okay. It's Acadium 100 off. So that's the website. Go to acadium100off.com and you will automatically get $100 savings. And now you'll be made aware of that, right? If someone signs up using your link?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Very good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's my custom link that I bought to send you to my partner page.
Okay.
And that's right there. It says, get started here. And your referral, Trish, she gave you $100 off. That's what the page says. Even has my picture there.
I think it's great the way you walked us through step by step in terms of how to set up the profile, what to expect, and just some things to be aware of that no, people are not going to be flocking to you. So I think you did a great job on that. And Trish, I'm wondering if, for those who are out there, I want to also say hello to some other folks. William Davis, hello. Candace Omar, hello. I wanted to say that you're part of our charter presenters, and you're also on our advisory board for A Better You, and we're obviously on A Better You. And people watching and listening have 3 opportunities to participate in A Better You. And I was wondering if we could just talk about that for a minute.
Absolutely. Wow. The university. Let's talk about the Better You University. We are facilitating the production of and collecting educational 15-minute educational nuggets. Okay. And they're all golden nuggets because they are from coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. There, I remember it all. And across the globe, okay. Dr. Jacqueline has an amazing talent for attracting some really fabulous high-end people that are, very eclectic group that she's put together, that I'm part of. And so the whole point of the 15-minute pieces, we are building our inventory for A Better You University, so that at some point in a year or a year and a half or whatever, people will be able to come by and they'll be able to watch for a small fee, education on demand. They can come in and they're stressed about something's really bothering them, and they can go straight to search, what that topic is, and they'll be able to find a trusted expert, coach, or consultant who has spoken on that topic. And each of the talks, it's kind of like a TED Talk, but it's not, okay? Because you always will walk away with some pointed instructions on how to proceed if you want to take the lessons away from that talk. There will always be lessons.
Thank you, Trish. Just like today, all of the lessons that we learned from you. Yesterday, we had Diane Floyd Boehm on, and she presented a recipe on how to write a book and how to configure the plot and how to develop the characters. And it was really interesting. And she had three words: meet, know, and trust. So when you're developing your characters, meet, know, and trust, so that was, how do you introduce them? What do you want people to know about them? And then how can you as the reader trust the character? So we always have interesting things that people are presenting. And what we're looking for is for coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors out there watching, whether you're watching now or you watch later on one of our 11 platforms, that you will come on the show yourself and share your wisdom and your knowledge. So
join us, please. Yes.
It's a great team of people, and you just have to go to abetteryou.tv. And that being said, I'm just going to play this clip that Al Sini, the creator of A Better You, came up with, and then we'll be right back. Okay, Trish? Mm-hmm. Thanks. Hello, I'm Dr. Jacqueline. Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline presents A Better You. And here to tell us more is the creator of A Better You, Al Sini. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. It's always a pleasure working with you and everyone out there. You might be a coach working with individuals professionally or personally, or you might be a consultant working with businesses, or you might be a trusted advisor specializing in an area like finance, let's say, or the law or healthcare. Whatever of those roles you relate to, you all have one thing in common, and that is you're working every day to help people become better versions of themselves, a better you. And Dr. Jacqueline's A Better You program is an opportunity for you to express your expertise in a particular area for 15 minutes in front of an audience of people who are looking for help from people like you. Yep. So, Dr. Jacqueline, maybe you can tell everybody how they can learn more about this.
It's so easy. You go to abetteryou.tv and you sign up to book your session. Oh, there it is. Easy as can be.
I love your jingle.
Thank
Where
you.
can I do?
It's so funny because I went through so many different songs and I ran them by Al because I went on pond5.com and I looked at different clips, and we both decided on that one. And it's funny because it is catchy.
It is very catchy. I've told you before that I tend to work a bit of a night shift, right? So I'll be working away. While I'm working, I'm either listening to podcast or watching one of your replays. And so every time I hear the intro, I'm doing this while it's like 2 a.m. and I'm dancing away to the jingle. Yeah. Wow.
Well, thank you.
The girl needs to get out, eh?
Listen, I'm wearing a gown in the house by myself. So, one thing I wanted to ask you in reference to your presentation and just some of the things that come to mind for me. So if you were thinking about getting an apprentice, an intern, what are some of the types of projects that you can have someone work on? So for example, one thing that comes to mind right away that I have a need for is to go to my YouTube channel and to take all the thumbnails that have literally no message, no significance whatsoever, and then make a custom thumbnail for each show. And then also go to the title of each show. Like, for example, I have Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline. Who cares? That's not what the title should be. So today, I think, is the first time I did a thumbnail that had some information that people could actually relate to. So right. You could hire someone for that, right?
That would be a typical project. Yes, absolutely. Another typical project might be taking a book that you wrote, I don't know, 5 years ago that you're still, let's say you're a coach, and you wrote a book 5 years ago that is still relevant today. And maybe you want to build a group coaching program around the contents of that book. Okay. You can get an apprentice to break down the nuggets inside the book to use it to promote the group coaching program in your social media.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Whether they be images with text on them as well, whether they be video snippets of you talking about that piece, or whether, as my marketing mentor Cindy Schulson tells, or do a long deep dive post, right, to mix it up between short posts, image posts, text only posts, to mix it up. And encourage people to use some platform like Buffer or Hootsuite so that you can just upload a whole week's worth of posts and then not have to worry about it for a week. And they automatically go out at the scheduled times you scheduled them for, and they'll go out to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn all at the same time.
Wow.
So, yeah. And you can even set up your website. I know your new website's on WordPress. There are plugins on WordPress that will, when you create a post on your blog on the new website. Let's say, for example, you've got 2 guests confirmed for next Wednesday, and you want to post about that to your peeps, right? Well, the only place you have to put it is to put that post in your WordPress website, because the plugins from WordPress will automatically propagate that post out to Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and whatever else, whatever other plugins you can get your hands on for whatever social media platforms.
Oh my goodness, that's such a time saver. Wow. Because I'm going to it someday, it's going to be finished, going to my new website. But that would save me so much time. Trish, I'm wondering also, for people who have businesses, is it possible to get an apprentice to market on your behalf. And I'll share with you what I mean. So for example, I have a new book coming out. Could I get a team of apprentices to use their network to send out my information to them, or no?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Yeah. Tapping into their networks isn't, well, that depends on the apprentice, but I wouldn't call it an expectation. It
Okay.
would be a nice to have if they got a big network, but it wouldn't be, you wouldn't make that part of your gig you're offering.
All right.
Yeah.
See why it's important to reach out to Trish, because she has all of this information.
Yeah.
Something else that I think people are probably concerned about, but I know there's an answer for it, is giving an intern or an apprentice access to your password to get into your site. But there is some kind of platform where you can put all your passwords. Do you know which one that is?
Well, I use LastPass.
That's it.
To manage all my passwords. It's great. LastPass is free if you're just using it on one device. If you're using it on multiple devices, it's like $36 for a year. Like, hello.
Wow.
Yeah, it's well worth it. I highly recommend LastPass. But the other piece you were addressing was passwords, giving out passwords to, like, for example, your Facebook account to your apprentice. I gotta say, I proceed through life trusting people.
I do too.
I know sometimes I get burned, but the amount of times I get burned doesn't have even a whisper of a negative impact on the times that I don't get burned.
Agreed.
You know? And so I do the prudent things. You know, when I give out a password to a particular apprentice, because I have a team of multiple, I will go into their contact sheet in my records. I use Asana for keeping track of all my tasks and all of my projects, and I will put LinkedIn on the inside for me to remember that I gave out my LinkedIn address password to this particular apprentice, so that when that apprentice is done, I know to go and which ones I need to change, and I just go change my passwords until the next apprentice takes over.
That's fascinating. And Trish, when it comes to this LastPass platform, if you forget your password, it doesn't matter because it's already in there, right?
You can't forget your LastPass password.
Okay, that's the one
you can forget all of the rest.
Okay.
But your LastPass password is the key to the vault.
All right. I'm going to go there actually today after my other two shows. That's lastpass.com.
Yep, lastpass.com.
Okay.
Yep.
If only there was some type of compensation for referring to these different sites, that would be great, wouldn't it?
You know what? There's referral systems, affiliate systems for most of these sites, but I'm seriously, other than Acadium, because their affiliate fees are excellent, but most affiliate programs you're making squat, like under $10 or something like that. So yeah, I'd rather put my energy somewhere else.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here today. This has been a wonderful lesson and a really good discussion and conversation. And we'll look forward to putting this up on the platform for the university, which, by the way, we're planning on rolling it out very soon. So I would say in the next 30 days.
Yeah. So if you've been always dying to just put your voice out there and you have something to say to the world, you've learned lessons from the rocks and the hills that you've had to face in your life and the roadblocks that you have overcome, and you have lessons to share with other people. People want to know. People not only want to know the lessons, they want to hear your story in the lesson. They want to hear you, and we want to hear you here. So we look forward
absolutely
to hearing from you.
And maybe you have content that you already developed, and you can cut it down to 15-minute chunks, and you can put it up on the platform. So go to abetteryou.tv and sign up to book your session if you want to have some new fresh content, and obviously it gets live streamed here as well. And then we can edit it for you, or you can do the editing yourself. And just 2 more announcements. We have 2 new shows starting. I don't even know if I told you this, Trish, but we've got Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline, fashion, fitness, travel, and leisure. That's
With
starting.
Diane.
Yes, with Diane Floyd-Bain, Friday at noon. And then we also have another show starting on April the 21st. It's called the Royally Rich, the Great Britain Edition with Ian Pelham Turner and co-host Alcini. So Ian has been on radio and television for over 50 years, and he is the photographer to the royals. And he has his own platform called Celebrating Great Britain, where he has on average between 1 billion and 5 billion people watching, according to what he told me. So
amazing.
You
are just pulling in the royalty, aren't you, girl?
Let me tell you, it's a lot of work, but I'm very grateful for the connections, and we'll be introducing everyone on the team. So that show is Wednesday, starting the 21st of April. It's every Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern. So we are trying to accommodate the London time because Ian will be joining us from London, and he's got some pretty heavy hitters. I'm not going to say the name. Let me just find the message that he sent me today. So last night he said he interviewed someone who was with Earth, Wind, and Fire, who's now recording with someone else, I'm not going to say who was working with 2 huge stars. So I think we might be having some pretty intense people from all different walks of life.
So exciting.
So exciting. So that's all for today. We've got, it's all about dating. And today's guest is, hold on, it is, I want to say his name right because he's very well known in the dating industry. His name is Hunt Etheridge. And you can find him on Clubhouse. He's on there all the time, leading rooms for dating, relationships, matchmaking. And then, of course, my co-host, Lisa Manioki. So thank you so much. Trish, any last words? How about how to contact you? Let me spotlight you and put up your banner. Remember, people listening on the radio.
Sure. Anybody want to connect with me by email? I'm at trish@changingpaces.com. That's paces as in steps, PACES, trish@changingpaces.com. But if you're sure you want to talk to me, just pop on over to booktrish.com and get on my calendar.
So easy. Booktrish.com. Thank you for making it simple for people. And again, the Acadium, just tell us again, what is that discount? Why should they go there?
That you should go there because you're gonna have an apprentice for 3 months for 10 hours a week for under, can't remember the calculation. It was definitely under $4 an hour. Okay. And I'm gonna gift you with $100 off. And so go to Acadium 100, the number 100 off. So Acadium 100 off. You've got 1,000 there. No, you've got 100. It's just an O. Looks like a 0. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the O. Yeah. So it's Acadium100off.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. And by the way, everybody, I went there. I signed up. I'm working with Trish. She's going to help me navigate through this because it's something new for me. And why should I try to figure it out myself when Trish already knows what to do? So, all right. Thank you again for being with us today. We'll look forward to seeing you at 4:00 Eastern time when we will be on It's All About Dating with Lisa Manioki. All right. Thanks again. See you later.
I tried to ignore it, but my stomach issues were out of control. I couldn't fix them on my own. It was time to do something. A friend said the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation could help me find a specialist. Feels good to finally have a plan. Don't hide your symptoms. Get help at spillyourguts.org today.